up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin podcast, episode 131. Seriously, we were just joking. Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I thought we were in the clear, but I guess not. I guess we had to do some
Nah,
explanations.
apparently we pissed a lot of people off. Unintentionally, well, I would say unintentionally from my standpoint.
Hey,
Apparently, I was wrong.
hey, damn if you
uh,
do, damn if you don't. I guess.
I know, man. It's funny. So we got some stuff on the docket today. Sandstorm is going to be a little late, and we'll get to him. He's going to give his initial thoughts on Forspoken, but we're going to wait for him to come in before we do that. But before we get into our Xbox presentation, overall thoughts and stuff like that, we got a little something. If you got, I know a lot of people probably don't watch football, American football, but we had an NFC Championship game today, and during the game, we got a little sneak peek or something. Well, a little 30-second clip or something. So
Yeah.
let's watch. Okay, that was funny. That was funny. That was funny. So you finally got to hear what your boy DK sound like. So Jack, you a DK fan? Let me know.
So here's my thing. I have no issue with this voice.
Mm-hmm.
What I was gonna say before you asked me that question was, if you have a problem with that Mario voice, you better have a problem with this DK voice. Because if we're really thinking about like DK and what it may or possibly should sound like, it wouldn't sound like that.
Oh,
But
no.
honestly, I like what Seth Rogen's doing with the voice. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be a little more silly throughout, different parts of the movie instead of just that small little clip. But honestly, I mean, with these movies, I don't take voices serious like that, especially when you talk about characters that don't really talk all that often, if at all.
I mean, we only had one cartoon with DK in the 90s, and don't nobody remember what he sounded like. So
no, I mean, now granted, I think that just popped up on something I was watching. They was like, "Oh, you can watch the DK cartoon now." I was like, "Okay, I'm not doing that." But yeah, it popped up somewhere. I have to double check where. But yeah, I mean, I have no issue with the DK voice. I have no issue with Mario's voice. I think they'll fit each other very well. It's kind of similar to the art style, because I mean, it doesn't look like your typical Mario, don't look like your typical Donkey Kong. So I think people just have a hard time separating from what they're familiar with. And honestly, you can't even say you're familiar with Mario's voice because you don't talk. You just kind of do ad libs. So it's like, I don't know.
I mean, once again, the last Mario thing that we had where he talked was the Mario Brothers 3 cartoon back in '93.
And even then, that's a bit much. You know, I mean, you don't want that heavy Italian.
You really don't. You really don't. Sasso, how you doing, man?
I'm doing excellent. Y'all gonna have to deal with me and eating dinner.
You good, man. You good. Like I said, you don't put yourself through torture already, so I mean, you deserve a meal.
So we just finished watching the Mario clip that they showed during the 49ers Eagles game. What you think?
I think it was great, to be honest with you. I mean, I knew what Seth Rogen's voice was going to be like. It was going to be Seth Rogen, but
yeah.
And I always thought that was a perfect casting anyway for Donkey Kong, because he just sounds like he would have that voice anyway. So just to see him and like confirm like those two were going to go hand in hand, I thought it was great. I thought it was hilarious. I can't wait. I hope he gets a whole movie to himself, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I could deal with the whole all day,
right?
All day.
It's a perfect fit. I mean, he'll be in all his movies.
Because if you do it like they're doing this movie's supposed to be an hour and 25 minutes. If you do it like that, then yeah, I can definitely see. Because DK, you can do another comedy.
Yeah.
You ain't got to get serious. You can literally do another comedy. So
and he takes himself seriously anyway. So I think that's why it's hilarious. Like Donkey Kong takes himself serious. So that's why I think it's a perfect match. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny. We started laughing at him with the cat suit on because I was doing when he did the whole meow thing. I'm like, you look so damn ridiculous. You look
question for any of these voiceovers, right? How many have had actors alter the voice dramatically? Because I'm thinking off the top of my head. Because I know the last movie or animated movie with a voiceover that I saw was Super Pets. And Kevin Hart's voice was Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Rock's voice was the Rock's.
Mm-hmm.
No one's trying to do like this heavy distinction of like, okay, this isn't me, I'm somebody else.
Well, most time in those situations, those actors, they're known by their voice, so you don't want to change it too much.
Correct.
You want people to know that it's them. Like the people that do it for a living, like Jennifer Hale and Nolan North, them and Troy Baker, they will change their voices because if you didn't know about that whole controversy with Bayonetta, there would have been very few chances you would have known that it was a different person. Because Jennifer Hale did a great job sounding like Helena Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
She did. Because there was a couple seasons now, like.
Yeah, it's kind of like Regina King with the Boondocks. Like you would never know she was voicing both characters.
No, you
wouldn't. So I think those make sense because you're trying to like build up the character, and it's something very specific. But when you got something like this that's in the theaters, I mean, you're gonna want to say that's Chris Pratt's voice, that's Seth Rogen's voice, because once again they picked these people for a reason. Yes. They didn't pick just random individuals that came up through Juilliard. They just picked people that that's gonna come in and add to the movie, because it's not like we don't know Mario, but you want to have actors that you like too,
and they're gonna bring their fans to the movie too. Because there's a lot of people saying like, I'm not going to watch Super Mario, but why would I watch that? Seth Rogen's fans are gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Chris Pratt's fans and haters are gonna be there.
Side note is if you listen to both Riley, what's the other one's name? Riley and Huey. They both actually sound like her, just different versions of her. That's what's so funny.
It really does.
But to go back to it, I think the reason, because I was just thinking about that the other day, it's like we got all these quote unquote voice actors, but they don't really voice act; they're just themselves. No. And I think when you kind of get down to it, I think a lot of times, whoever's producing the movie, I think they already have people in mind who they want to use as voice actors, to the point where they may early on try and get a idea of like, okay, who's going to be on and who's not, and then they tell them, we'll come up with the script for you later, but they almost model that character and kind of the expressions and stuff like that they would normally have in those characters that they play. So like Kevin Hart, for example, plays the the bunny and Pets or whatever. You can kind of see the real quick, the jerkiness from Kevin Hart, and those characters. You can also like Panda. What is it?
Kung Fu Panda.
Jack Panda. Black. Yeah, you can see Jack Black, and his character, the way he moves around, and the movements he does. So I kind of feel like it's almost like directors and people like that, animators have made it a little bit easier for like the streamline actors to try and get into it without having to, I really love your voice, but you suck at voice acting, So yeah.
That makes sense. All right, so Dark Boy, I agree. I understand completely, because sometimes movies, depending on what time you go, it can suck. So I don't blame anybody for not going to the theater. I do not blame them for that. I really don't. We got too many options nowadays. I ain't gonna sit here and pretend like, oh yes, the movie theater is the most outgoing thing for the best experience ever. No, it ain't.
Movie theater only.
No, it ain't. Because sometimes to be completely fair, sometimes depending on what theater you go to, because you got a rundown theater in your neighborhood, just stay at home.
Yeah,
just stay home. Now, if you got one of them deluxe luxury places that's gonna charge you $40 for a ticket, just stay home. Right. So, but now, in all honesty, I do understand. I'll probably go to the theater to see this one just because I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. So what I normally do, to be completely honest with people, what I normally do is I try to hit the first show that's in the morning because ain't nobody in there.
Right.
So I can enjoy the film.
Oh yeah.
Plus, matinee is less expensive.
Yeah.
I'm not going when the kids are there.
Oh yeah, dude. Because like Mario, because and this is what I hate about some parents. They'll bring their like kids that's 10 and under to and drop them off at least.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. And that'd be a theater full of damn kids that don't know how to act. So
outside of the fact that Super Pet sucked, when I went to watch it, like they had it's I swear it was like a classroom that came. Then you had this mom, she was there with her infant crying in the
I hate
like,
that.
are you serious right now? You couldn't have found a better time to bring your child to see this movie.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. When I went to see Infinity War and when I went to see Endgame, there was a lady who brought her infant in there. They kicked her out.
Wow.
They kicked her out.
They need to.
I'm like, bruh, it's the baby is like 7 months old. The hell, as soon as that THX hits, that baby gonna cry because it's gonna be killing that baby ears. Yeah. So why would you do that? Like what? So both times I was in there, people just asked. They tried to be nice about it, like, ma'am, this is a long movie.
Yeah,
it'll be fine. It'll be fine. They were like, okay, nah, she gotta go.
Yeah,
she gotta go, and they just basically like. I think they wound up giving that lady like a pass for something else, but she had to get out. So I was just sitting there like, yeah, I'm gonna go watch this probably first showing, probably like 10 o'clock in the morning, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning because everybody gonna be asleep. I am not going to see that at night.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find the perfect time because it depends on the theater with me. So the one that's closer to me, if I go and I try to do a matinee, it's a wrap. But if I do it at night at the AMC, I can get there.
Yeah. See that mine's flipped. So the one near me, if I do it like in the morning, I'll be fine. If I try to do it like in the afternoon or at night.
For us, it really don't matter. Like we got two movie theaters. We got one on the north side of Kalamazoo, and then we got like one centered in like Kalamazoo's county, but it's like a bigger city. And like that one puts out other movie theaters. Like we've had 3, 4, 5 movie theaters here, and just because that's like the center base of operation, that one just like everybody. So it don't matter what time you go.
You just go be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, this is going to be. I still think this movie's going to do well. Illumination movies, the first movie usually does extremely well. We don't talk about sequels. Some of their sequels ain't that good, but most times their first movies are done really well. So, looking forward to Super Mario Brothers on April 7th. So, RJ, what's this about pissing people off? Yeah, we tend to do that. Apparently, we tend to do that here.
I don't understand why somebody was so mad. What you mad for?
So, if you guys watched our live reaction, and I'm assuming a lot of people did because we got 399 views on this, so I'm assuming a lot of people did. One thing we did not do was we told jokes, but we did not openly bash anything. Matter of fact, after the presentation was over with, I know I said it was a good presentation because they kept it just to 5 studios, and it's all stuff that's coming out probably more than likely this year. I don't know when we were being negative outside of us joking, which we always do.
Right.
So, I apparently we pissed a lot of people off.
Good.
Okay. I'm still gonna say this. I do have real concerns about Redfall because Jack, me and you and Brandon, we played Back for Blood. What happened every time we played Back for Blood?
Disconnected. We probably would get one done, and then as soon as we get back to the lobby area or the main area, it would just make us disconnect from each other.
And it wasn't our net because we all ran checks.
Yep.
And this happened not once, not twice, 4 times.
Yeah.
So that's a real issue. And then when I go look it up online, it was a known issue that Microsoft knew about but didn't tell nobody. Okay, so yes, I do have a real issue with Redfall, but I didn't once say you shouldn't like this game. That never came out of my mouth. Now, yes, I did say the game needed 15% more blade in it, preferably the Wesley Snipes version.
Facts.
Preferably Wesley Snipes version, but that's what I said. I did not hate on Forza. What I said was I wish I was a gearhead. I can't get into simulation games. Yeah. Simulation races, I can't get into them. But if I was a gearhead, apparently it was.
Wow. Okay.
But if I was a gearhead, I could enjoy it. Miss K was in our chat. Miss K loves Forza. She was laughing at all our jokes.
Wow.
So once again, I don't know what the disconnect happened. But
Look, I chalk it up to we seen a whole lot of things happen last year in 2022. As far as things like Bayonetta, Pokemon. So we were just looking to see if anybody was going to boycott the channel, because we know that gets views up. Honestly, it shouldn't have been a problem in the first place. Like I don't know why people get so hurt about something like that. But like we've never gotten that kind of controversy when we watch Nintendo Directs, or Sony's.
Yeah.
Why y'all so hurt, or Microsoft fans or whoever? And it's not really that big of a deal because we were hyping up high res. Is that what it is?
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi. Yeah, we were hyping that up. It looked like a good game. Now, granted, I did say that I feel like Xbox, because it's only true. Y'all only showed me what happened in the past. That's only how I can predict the future. That's why I'm the sage. You know what I'm saying? So. If y'all go buy the game, then there's no problem. There's no problem there. But I just personally feel like that's not your style of game. That's not your type of game.
No,
you guys will hype it up, and when the game is out, which is now, how much is it being talked about? Not really that much. At least not on my Twitter feed. So it's like, where's the balance? Y'all can't be mad because we're like, hey, this looks good, or this looks good, or hey, this looks good, but I can't buy it because I'm not really in that kind of style of gaming, or I don't really like this, or ooh, that kind of looks like it needs a little bit of work. We do that for everybody. Don't get hurt when it's your team.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I thought I went back and watched it again because I was like, did I really say? No, I didn't.
Mm-mm.
So nobody on the panel did either. So I don't understand that one. And once again, I loved everything I saw about Hi-Fi Rush. Now my feed, I did see a couple people hating on it, but I don't think they were used to rhythm games, and that's a rhythm game. To be fair, because they went into it afterwards. They had another video come out where they did a little bit of a dive, not a little bit of a dive.
I've seen that. Yeah,
a more hands-on thing, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is more of it's a weird beat action adventure game.
It's like a beat 'em up, rhythm beat 'em up.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird, but I'm like, dude, it looks fun. That looks like a whole fun, and the voice acting and it looks crazy. I like weird crazy.
Yeah. Now I haven't played it. Now we all know with certain games, whether you're talking about a Monster Hunter or you're talking about fighters in themselves, there is some type of rhythm you have to do to pull off combos because you can't just button smash on some of these because it adds timing to it.
Yeah.
So is this any different and they just added the emphasis of it being a rhythm game, or is it really that different?
From what I'm seeing, that's what it looks like.
It almost looks like you can kind of try and mash buttons, but you're not going to get combos like that.
Correct. Yeah. So that's what I was looking at. So even when you talk about, like I said, things like fighters, you got to space out your hits. You got to space it out because you can't just smash everything because then your combos are not going to get pulled off. I'm not understanding where this is different other than the fact that they have music that in there, and then they have indicators that, hey, this is where you need to stay on beat. This is how you stay on rhythm. And it's kind of an assist opposed to, something that you should already know.
Right.
Which I think actually works because it's variety. It's a variety. And if you play Jet Set Radio or Jet Set Grind, you shouldn't have a problem with that. Because that's pretty much exactly what now the thing was that I thought was interesting was it was Shinji Mikami. That's the horror guy. Like all those Resident Evil games that you like, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 4, and Code Veronica, that was his stuff.
Yeah.
That was his stuff. So he know how to scare the hell out of you. So it's easy. it's gonna be very interesting when I get a chance to play that because hopefully I'll be able to play it sometime next week. I'm gonna finally put some money down and just go on and get that Series X and just get it on over with.
Oh, okay.
For now, I was gonna build my PC, but the parts that I want, I'm not trying to wait that long.
I had 2 parts I needed to purchase. Yeah. And then before I purchased the parts, I went to try to play a game that I at least covered the minimum specs on.
Mm-hmm.
and let's just say it was an entire shit show, and I'm like, this is why I don't like PC gaming, because it's always something.
It's always something here.
Is because even when I turned it down low, the game crashed. Then I'm like, okay, they was like, oh well, maybe you need to uninstall and then reinstall and then make sure that all your drivers are up. I ain't got time for this shit. Like I'm gonna just go play it on the console. I'm good.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, well, I'm gonna actually put some real time into building me a straight up rig. But for now, I'm just gonna go and get a Series X and just call it a day. But yeah, I am. I don't think there was anything bad with this presentation. I think like this is how you should do it. Keep it to the games that are coming out, because the main issue that I've seen that Xbox has been having, same thing with PlayStation, putting out games that's not going to come out for 3-4 years. Like my favorite example, Wolverine. What was the point of showing that 30-second clip?
Made no sense.
No gameplay.
No gameplay.
Anything.
And the game that you should have been hyping was Spider-Man 2. You didn't have to tell nobody about Wolverine. You did not have to tell anybody about Wolverine.
That could have been a surprise for this year.
Right.
Yeah, so you did not have to tell anybody about that, and then go sit up and say, well, the game is really not, it's not going to be ready till about 2024, 2025. They came out and said this, by the way, and the reason why is because that team is actually working on Spider-Man 2, which means all you had to do was show them work on Spider-Man 2. You did not have to put that in there, but now you're going to have people saying, where the Wolverine game every quarter. Somebody will be like, man, they showed that Wolverine game. I don't know why we can't hear nothing else about it, because they shouldn't have shown it to begin with.
He ain't gonna get shown until Marvel decide to show off.
Yeah,
X-Men.
But like I said, that's one of those things where I'm glad that they decided to do this. And yes, they did bite off Nintendo's homework, because they got the guy that used to work on the live stream for the Treehouse Live and the Indie Directs over at Microsoft now. It's Damon Baker, I think his name. He works for Xbox. He went over there in 2020, I think it was. So yeah, he's been over there, and they're letting him run. And I'm like, yeah, this is how you do it. You keep it to games that are coming out, and you don't show that many. So to get people, all right, this is what we're doing, and this is and then you do a shadow drop. Hi-Fi Rush was a shadow drop. That's how you do it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I enjoyed the presentation overall. I thought it was good, and what they did worked, and that's just being honest. So I have my glasses on. I enjoyed the developer direct. So I mean, overall it was a good presentation. I ain't, outside of my personal issues with Redfall, because I just feel like we're gonna get played come April. I just got a feeling. So I'm probably not gonna, well, I know I'm not gonna get that at launch anyway, because I'll be too busy playing Zelda. But I'm going to keep my eye on it, because if people are having if it doesn't do what Back 4 Blood did, I will probably jump on it. I'm not going to lie. There ain't nothing wrong with having some fun slaying some vampires.
Right.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. But I just know it looks a lot like Back 4 Blood, and I know what Back 4 Blood did to me.
Exactly. And then I realized how choppy and how sloppy Left 4 Dead was. That game ran awful. I don't know how anybody had excitement with that game, because I know my cousin, he'll play it religiously. Like, how do you play this game? Like, this is a buggy mess. He's like, it's the only thing I got to play. I'm like, all right, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
it was fun back then.
So, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. Anybody else y'all want to add anything? Because I'm pretty sure
you covered it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, we're PlayStation fanboys, so.
Right.
Oh, you know that?
Yeah.
No, my bad.
As you see the controller right next to me.
Yeah, I mean, can't you tell we PlayStation fanboys? Look at the controller.
Are these Xbox characters behind you?
Yeah. We got Xbox characters behind me. We got a PlayStation controller over here in the corner. We got some Sour Patch Kids. I mean, clearly. But okay, so Sandstorm, you ready? You ready to get that? You ready for your hate mail?
Yeah, yes sir.
You ready for the hate mail?
You better not lie.
We're gonna turn. How many we got? We got 9 people on. We're gonna turn 9 into 900 real quick, and it's gonna be all hate. So many negatives. We might even get kicked off the stream.
Now for this one, we're not joking on this one. This is his thought. So
So I want to give a disclaimer before I go into my impressions on the game. So we as gamers, no, I don't want to say that. The gaming community now really looks at and has been for a little while now. Really looks at other videos, um, big time YouTubers, all of that, and kind of really gets an opinion on a game before they try the game.
Right.
And more so, I see that as becoming a problem and becoming a norm. Um, so, and what I mean by that, so I watched Digital Foundry take on Forspoken, and listened to it, and then I went to the Spawn Wave podcast and listened to it. And it seems that I didn't listen to the whole Digital Foundry because after a while I was like, all right, I had enough.
Right.
But it seems that OJ was playing the PS5 version, is what one of my subscribers told me, and he had a terrible time with it. And then Digital Foundry was doing the takes on PS5 as well. And I was playing on PC, obviously, PC Master Race. And even in my case, my rig is no longer the high end that it used to be a couple years ago. It's not the highest thing. I see everything like it's a lot higher than mine now, but um, I just want people to not take certain things for granted, or take or hear certain things and label it as fact. So I've heard a lot of bashing about the game. A lot of this game is crap. I even talked to Retro Death just a little while ago, and he was saying like, oh, the flame elements and stuff like that don't burn the grass, and like the voice acting's off, blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm a guy who played Cyberpunk and enjoyed it, so obviously the bias towards certain things aren't really as heavy with me, but um, I think after Breath of the Wild, a lot of us have gotten into this is the standard of how things should be, and okay, that's great. That's great to do, but in an instance, and I'm going to give this as his example as a perfect example. When you talk about there's fire elements, but they're not burning the grass. What is the grass exactly? What is that? What does that benefit? Like, what is that supposed to do exactly? Because in Breath of the Wild, it actually has a benefit to it.
Right.
You fly, you can soar, you can use it for other things. You can blow the wind and make more grass. There's countless things that you can do to it. But what is the developer trying to get you to do in that game that would benefit burning grass?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, what is the benefit of you using water spells and the ground is wet? Like, what does that do
Other
exactly?
than being pretty.
Other than being pretty, it really doesn't do anything. So those kind of things to me aren't really a necessity. They really aren't important. So getting into my first impressions. Um, the starting of the game is absolutely terrible. I'm just gonna straight out say it. It is garbage. It is hot garbage. There's points where there are characters who are talking who don't move their mouths. There and I've already said it in the thing, like that should have been what done with the sixth,
Hmm.
seventh generation. Like that should not be a thing anymore. Um, there is a lot of up and downs of resolution and textures and stuff like that. Um, the story at the beginning doesn't really make that much sense. The tutorial should have been in a demo, to be honest with you, and that tutorial is long. Like it is very, very long. I thought the first area that I was in, up into the point getting to talk to the people in the city and stuff like that was the end of the tutorial. No. The end of the tutorial is like this whole, you get a whole small open world plateau type of area. And until after that point, then they kind of open it up for you. With that being said, it is the tutorial is almost like 4 chapters long, which is 3 chapters too long.
Right.
But when you get out of that tutorial area, oh, and I would say this too: the sneak missions in there are absolutely terrible. Like that shouldn't have even been a thing. I don't know why there were sneak missions in the first place. That should have been a skit or cutscene. What's up?
Is it as bad as the Jean missions in Bayonetta?
It's worse. It's way worse.
Oh,
It is
damn,
way
really?
worse. Yeah. This is a mission where girl runs behind a box. Enemy walks up to the box, turns around, walks away, stands right there, and then you walk behind them, and you're like, "Where's the challenge in this? We've done this in the N64 Zelda. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing this in Ocarina of Time. Why is this applicable to a 10th generation game? But whatever. My man's walks up to right where the door is. And you're standing right next, right on each side of it. He stands right to the door. He doesn't look around. And then he turns around and walks away. And you're like, what? Do we call this hiding, I guess? I guess this is the sneak mission. So,
Right.
but right after that, chapter 4, when they actually allow you, and I was going to tell you, I was going to tell you incorrectly. So I'm glad that I actually played it more today. But right after chapter 4, they're like, all right, you're free. Go do whatever you want. The combat is actually on point. I love the combat. A lot of people have been complaining about the button layout.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with it.
It's a lot to take in, but you can get used to it.
Yeah, it's not. I think I would have a problem with it if I just played it in the demo and then they were just like go. But for them to kind of explain it as you go on, and then like, okay, this is your dodge mechanic, this is how you do this is the jumps and stuff like that, and then you kind of seeing like the combo system and like how you switch off on what are on your regular spells versus your signature spells and stuff like that. The combat gets really fluid really fast, and some of the dodges are sweet. But I was going to originally tell you that this game was actually surprisingly more set up like, what's my game? Monster Hunter World, where there is just these giant sectioned off areas. That turns out not to be true. I thought they were sectioning off each area by having castle walls for each of these, divided areas, which kind of made sense with the story going along. But then it turns out that after you get certain powers, you can just jump over those walls anyway. So they're not closed off by a loading screen or anything like that. I will say though that the map is like really weird. It'll as you're moving the cursor, it will load in more information on the map. Like it can't read the whole map itself. The world itself is stupidly big. I don't know if I've actually seen a world bigger than this. Like it's impressively big. Like it just keeps going and going and going. As far as if it's, what's the word? What did they call Breath of the Wild before we got it? There was nothing to do. It was empty.
It was empty, yeah.
It's not empty. It is empty, but it's not empty in the sense that what the game is trying to accomplish. So you can't go that far without running into some sort of enemy, whether it's a flying enemy, a goat, a zombie, a mutant, which is their version of, Xenoblade Chronicles X's tyrants.
Tyrants,
if you will.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't go that far without running into something like that. And there's always like, a little treasure chest or like little side missions and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, they call their side missions, what do they call them? Oh man, I just saw this too. They don't call them side missions. It's like, it's a funny word too. I can't think of it, but they filled the maps with those. So, your equipment is based on whether it's your cloak, your necklace, and your nails. And there's a whole bunch of those missions to do. Mm-hmm. Enemies are resistant against certain things. There's certain challenges within your powers and stuff. If you want to grow your powers inside themselves. There's challenges. To be honest with you, I was so dead lukewarm on this game. I was almost negative, and it almost the day before purchasing the game, I was like, "Do I really want to do this?" And I said, "Nah." I made a commitment. I was going to show off the game. I was going to let people see the game for what it really was, and I'm actually really happy that I picked out the game. It is. I mean, Hogwarts is coming out in 2 weeks. Next week. So it didn't matter. Did not matter. Forspoken is still getting pushed aside. But the question was, when I was finally done with Hogwarts, and if it was before Zelda, was I gonna pick back up Forspoken or just leave it to the side? And I would definitely pick it back up. The game is fire. The game is fire.
So
but
now, go ahead, Jeff.
All right, you can go ahead, Jeff.
So, from playing the demo,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like, well, for me playing the demo, you playing the real game, do you feel like there's too many, I guess you say, upgrade situations here? Because you got with the nails,
Mm-hmm.
you got the powers,
Mm-hmm.
you got the clothing,
Mm-hmm.
you got like accessories. Like, is there too much going on? And then you also got the skill tree too. So it's like it's a lot of stuff.
So everything is like actually easily accessible,
Right.
if that makes sense. So when you're talking about your powers and just getting new powers, they have like, I know you've seen it, like the mana shards or whatever, like sitting on the ground, you run over them, you collect them. I collected those super fast, built up her main
They never
powers
explained
really quick.
what those were. I didn't know. I just collected them, but they never told you what they were.
So in the story, they tell you what they are. I don't know why they didn't do it for the demo, but in the story, they actually tell you what they are and what they represent. So when you're doing your regular powers and just getting new powers, that's what most of that stuff is based off of.
Yeah.
Now, you kind of have like the rock burst power, where you hold down the trigger and you shoot it blows up, right?
Right.
You can increase that power by doing challenges, which is like something that I really don't even think about. Like I'll go into an area. I think you go into one of those like churches or whatever it's called, and you go into a certain thing and you pick out. I think it's 3 challenges you can pick out for each of your powers to just augment them. Let's call it that, augmenting those powers. And then just as you're traveling around, whether you're purposely doing them or just doing them on the side, you end up increasing them. As far as like your equipment and stuff, those are a little bit, I won't say a little bit confusing, but those take a little bit more time to like build your character around. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you get like you only get 3 slots. So there's special effects, and then there's effects to increase like health, defense, or magic. So you pick one of those 3, and then all the items that you pick up on the ground could be used to either get you more potions or increase like the health on your cloak or the powers on your cloak. So it seems like there is a lot, and the nails you don't increase power on the nails. You just kind of pick out a special effect that you want. So
okay.
So overall, I would say there's really only like 3 things, maybe 4 things that you're really worrying about as far as like messing with like power increase and stuff like that. Really the customization of that. But even in that, I don't know. It's not as complicated as it seems, especially when they walk you through it later on, because then it gets kind of funny. Like after a while, you have to like go find cats, and the cats give you extra powers, and go to this monument, and that increases your stats. And so there's a bunch of little things, but they're not set up so that you're like, oh, how do I just get stronger? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's very exciting. You had a question, Jay.
No, you answered it.
Oh, okay.
you answered it. So basically the issue I think that a lot of people were having was basically because of the demo and how that tutorial set up.
Mm-hmm.
essentially. Then that's the problem.
I think that's the biggest problem, and I think because of how the demo played out, I think people carried over that same mindset.
Yeah. Okay.
And that, like I said, that first chapter and that first area definitely did not help. It was terrible. It was absolute. They honestly, to be honest with you, they could have just like did it in Star Wars format of what happened, and then just had her fall into this hole into this city and was like, hey, I'm here, I got this cuff, and then was like, all these situations going on from that point, because everything before then was like, this is dumb as hell. Like, I don't, why?
Right.
It was like a C-rated movie. You know what I'm saying? The acting was terrible.
They're trying to set the atmosphere.
Oh, it was horrible.
Atmosphere.
It was bad. I will say though, because I've heard so many things, because hey, as RJ said that he, whenever he gets a PS5, he was planning on getting it. I will say, just be cautiously optimistic about the PS5 version. I don't have that version. And everything that I've been playing has been cool so far. I really haven't had any issues, any bugs, or anything like that on the PC version. It sounds like it's more of a PS5 version, and Digital Foundry was dogging the hell out of that game. So
they dog the hell out of everything. Man.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I would just be cautiously optimistic about the PS5 version. But with that being said, I love the game. It's a great game.
Okay. Cool. So no hate mail needs to get distributed.
We had 900. Oh, we had 10. That's okay. That's okay. I thought there was gonna be more. She put. Oh yeah. She put 0. She put -5 on Cuff name. I swear. He said, "Call me Van Brace." She was like, "I'm gonna call you Cuff G." Like that's horrible. Hey. My name is James. My name is Robert. Okay, I'm gonna call you Dick. From now on. What? Yeah, nah.
All right, when you fight this boss, let's see how you do it by yourself. Then.
Right. When you die, I guess we just both dead, huh?
Yeah, you're gonna die then. You know what my name is. You're gonna die. One of us ain't gonna want to.
Right. I'll talk your corpse off. You know what I'm saying? Be talking the mess out of your corpse.
But yeah, okay. So, all right, guys, you heard about Forspoken, so let's go and get this goal now out the way. All right, so I played on the Nintendo Switch Online version. I will say one thing: if you have a Switch Pro controller, you might want to actually manipulate it and change the button mapping.
I have so many questions to this. So many questions.
If you have the N64 controller and you are from that time frame, you should be fine. You should be fine. Now, it did take me a little bit getting used to it because I haven't had to because I haven't played GoldenEye like that in a while, so it did take me a little bit to get used to it. But once I got used to it, I was good to go on the N64 controller. Now, I did play this morning on the Switch Pro controller. I did do some button mapping changes to it, and I found the one that the Nintendo Life video they did, that 3-minute video they did, that one was actually very good to use. So if you are more used to like twin sticking, that's probably the best way to go. I'll tell you that. That's probably the best way to go. Wow.
Yeah, number one hater.
Wow.
Number one hater on that.
I have a quick question. I'm curious. So, matter of fact, this question may lead into one. So, for the remapping, is that only exclusive to the Switch type controllers, or can you remap the Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 controllers too?
I had never tried to do the Super Nintendo controller. The N64 controller, you can play with the the default layouts in the actual game itself. So, because they got more than, I don't remember all of them being there in '98 when I was playing. So it looked like they added a couple.
Okay.
So
I felt like there was only like 4 of them.
There was like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Because it's like 5 or 6 in there now.
Okay.
So this is why I asked that question. Let's say you can't, customize these controllers. I'm assuming you can't. because I mean, granted, they come up in a specific way on the console, but I don't know if you could change them or alter them in any kind of way.
Yeah.
So let's say you can't. I would say that would make plenty of sense as into why the Switch version wasn't like the Xbox version. Because if the sole intent is for you to play the 64 version of the game with a 64 controller, then why would I go in there and change that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's amazing that they give you an option.
Mm-hmm.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but just a couple of years ago, if not earlier, this month or a couple of months ago, everybody was talking about we need options.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you have the option to do something, now you can play it.
Yeah,
now
playing heavy.
Now it needs to be set. I shouldn't have to go do. You shouldn't have to do a lot of things. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, it's not that big of a change. Watching that video with Game Explain, it took all of
10 seconds.
2 minutes.
Yeah, and you can save it. And you can save it. You can save it.
Add something specific, GoldenEye. And I'm like, where's the problem here? You do it one time and leave it alone.
Sometimes, because Joey, I don't understand why he said that. Because here's the thing: I have an Xbox Elite controller. You can change button maps on that thing all the damn time.
Right.
So there's no that shouldn't even be an issue. I think the issue is between people who, like me, I played the original version. So I can play with the N64 controller.
Right.
I think a lot of if you are not of that generation, you're not gonna like that setup no matter what happens.
Right.
Because you're probably more used to twin sticking. If you're more used to twin sticking it, then yes, you need to go into the button mapping and change it. So it'll be something that'll be easy for you to use. That's not an issue because everybody does that. I know people who played the Halo Infinite game and they swap everything around.
Yeah.
Because they don't like what it is. That's why people go out and get like the 8-bit DOE controller. They go out and get the Elite controller, stuff like that. Like I said, I have personally. Now I will say this: it did take me about a good. And y'all can see it on the gameplay I did. It took me about a good 20 minutes to get used to the N64 controller because I'm out of practice.
Yeah.
With that.
Of course.
So that's gonna be good. And dude, y'all already know I'm used to gyro by now.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does this game not have gyro? N64. So I'm used to gyro.
Does not compute.
Yeah. So, and everybody's gonna be different because you hadn't played the game in over 20 years.
Yeah. So, I seen a video the day of. I want to say it was Friday, the day of when this came out, and they were comparing the Switch version. I can't remember who it was. They were comparing the Switch version and the Xbox version.
I know they should be doing that, but go ahead.
And they were talking about how they're almost identical, except for the fact that the Xbox version ups res to 4K. And like immediately I was like, 4K for N64 graphics, bro? Like
First
really?
of all, they shouldn't even said that because why would you even say that?
4K for N64 graphics. That's like that. Who cares at that point? You know what I'm saying? But
once again, I hate that people do that because the only reason why they're saying that because it's better. No, it's not.
No.
It looks the same.
Yeah. So they were talking about that, and then they were talking about the controller situation, and how you had to map it around, move it all over, blah 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 blah. And they said that it was a little more cumbersome because it wasn't actually in the game. You had to go out and do it on the Switch, da 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 da. And for that reason, if you had the choice between the two, pick the two. They highly suggested the Xbox version over the Switch version. But I'm like, yo, wait, time out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you not talk about the online? Like, what happened to the online part? You ain't even say nothing about the online.
At all.
Like, that's a whole feature that you just kind of missed out on. Like, forget the option to change. You ain't even talk about the main thing that makes them different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they're not going to.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
But why though? And that's my whole thing with the media, right? This isn't something you can go to the store and buy. This is more of a nostalgia thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect too many people that have never played the game to go in here and enjoy it and do anything with it, other than play with a couple of friends possibly.
Right.
But why go out of your way to say, hey, the reason why I prefer this one is because I don't have to do controller changes.
Which you're going to do anyway.
Exactly. What you're going to do anyway, but then exclude the fact that, hey, if you want to play with your friends, go with this version.
Yeah. You got to go the online route. It's funny to me because at this point, we all know why this happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sitting back thinking, I'm like, yeah, but you don't have a problem when you do this for other games. Like I said with the button mapping situation, it's not an issue. When you go on the Switch, you can set it and save it. I have like 3 different button mapping things on my Switch right now because I have one because y'all know I don't like clickable sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple there's one for that. I've had to change up the control style for Xenoblade Chronicles DE. I changed up that because I didn't like the way the layout was. So I changed. I got one set for that. So as soon as I go in, all I gotta do, click on that one. Boom, it does it. I go back into the game. I'm good to go. Sometimes I don't even have to go back into the game. I just do it from the screen and then go into the game.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is a non-issue. The only reason why you would bring that up is if you're trying to set a narrative. In my opinion, you're trying to set a narrative, and unfortunately, a lot of people that's just how they make their money. So they're gonna do or say the things that will get them the most likes and stuff like that, and comments.
Y'all know they suck anyway.
Yeah.
Because I mean, most of their content that they put out there, whether it's reviews or previews, it sucks. So I mean, I get it. Like I said, it's the internet.
I mean, game recognized game.
Right.
So,
I mean, we understand what it is. I mean, the internet will be the internet. If you expect it to do the right thing, then you're in the wrong space anyway.
Yeah.
This is why I say again, big YouTubers, and someday we gonna have millions of subscribers ourselves. But big YouTubers, I don't really I keep it to the small lane because those are the people who are actually real. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna really most of them. I won't say all of them, but. They will actually keep it real. They're not here for a paycheck, like everybody else. They're not on a specific team. They're not trying to push the narrative or anything like that. They're just here because they actually like the games and they're gonna tell you what is real.
All right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like if you, I'll end it like this. If you are from this generation and you've had that N64 controller, and you are able to get one. Still don't know why Nintendo won't. I don't know what the hell's going on with the N64 controller. But I would probably go that route because to me it's a nostalgia trip and to me it's just more fun. But if you are used to twin sticks, just remap it. It literally doesn't even take a minute. And like I said, there are channels that are doing it. So the one I would use is Nintendo Life's. Nintendo Life's they did a good video on it, and that I would use that button mapping on the Switch if you have a Pro controller and you're used to twin sticks. It's very smooth. It plays very smooth. Like I said, I tried it this morning after me and Vicky's fresh take vid, and dude, it's fine. Now I just got to remember to put a bullet in Trevelin's head. But
Dark Boy said because they wanted to play like Call of Duty. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if
you know that
if you're from that, if that's what you're used to, that's like I said. I love gyro.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it had gyro, but I'm not gonna get mad about it because this game didn't have gyro. When it came out, it didn't have gyro.
That wasn't even a thought.
So
even close.
Yeah, but I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun with Go9. Hey, Microsoft, I y'all put that Conquer in that Perfect Dark.
Right. Matter of fact, if you want to get gullet, if you want to get real
they
cool,
gave us Banjo.
If you want to get real cool, go ahead and throw Diddy Kong Racing. Let's team up, make it happen.
Let's do this. Like, I mean, I'm surprised Diddy Kong and Racing ain't been on there yet.
Conquer. That's why.
Like I say, that Conquer
Banjo Kazoo. Yeah, they're the ones really stopping it.
So I mean, at that point it is. I mean, I told you I wasn't gonna get the expansion until my Mystical Ninja popped up, but that's happening.
I think the expansion pack to me it's worth it. And apparently it's worth it to a lot of people that said they weren't gonna get it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm sure people will find interest, no doubt. I mean, because like I said, when I've looked at those games across like NES, Super Nintendo, the Sega Master System, all the other stuff, like I played them 10 times over at this point. And I know there are people that really, really like it. The only issue I take with it is for those that were complaining. And then when games showed up, it's like, well, Nintendo's not dropping the ones I want.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I used to say that from jump. Like you were saying, it was the virtual console problem. But now you're saying, it was the one I want problem. Gotcha.
Well, the other thing too is like I can tell you, like with this whole online situation, it's actually been very hilarious to me because you'd have people who swore up and down they would never get it, but they always online, and you're like, how the hell are you online? And,
what you doing on there?
Yeah, like you
Where you
said
at?
you weren't gonna get it, and like once again, the videos disappear, so you can't really unless you downloaded it. The videos disappear, and then you're like, okay, I see what it is. They, Nintendo put out today 35 million people on NSO.
Yep.
Mixed signals. Name of your new
You not
pay-per-view.
one of them though. You not one of them.
Yo, yeah, I never said I would. Dude, I told people from the jump when they said Ocarina of Time was on there. I'm down. I'm not. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, and with George Mass, I'm here, and like this. That's all they had to say.
Right.
But yeah, I am enjoying myself with GoldenEye. I would like to see the rest of the rare games on there because I think all of us have said this at least at one point or another. Microsoft, if you're not gonna do nothing with it, just give them back. If you ain't gonna do nothing with it, just give them back.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm starting to think they forgot they got it.
They might have. I mean,
I'm gonna be all the way honest with you. I don't think they remember
all this other stuff. How many times have you bought stuff and put it in the drawer and then forgot that you had it? And then you find
I do it all the time.
8 months, a year later.
Right.
Yeah, I was doing that today with music, and I clicked on something. I was like, "Yo, when did I make this?"
Yeah.
Yeah, do it all the time. So I can only imagine between the acquisitions, trying to get certain things like Game Pass off the ground, xCloud. Like honestly, I don't think they were really thinking about it at that point in time because I think people would really have to sit down and have a conversation with Xbox and say, "Hey, what was the purpose of purchasing Rare?"
The purpose was just like
so
Bill
Nintendo
Belichick.
can use them.
Yeah, just like Bill Belichick getting players, so the other team won't have them.
So you spent money just to keep money. But the thing is, you didn't even get the franchise that was really the big dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it'll be another thing if you got Donkey Kong from Nintendo out of that. But
that's what they thought they were going to get.
Yeah, and you ain't even get that.
And the Stamper Brothers had to tell them like, no, that's Nintendo's. Like they thought they were getting that, and they thought they were getting Star Fox. Like, no, you're not getting that.
Why would they think they got Star Fox? Am I missing?
Because Dinosaur Planet.
Oh,
they bought them right after that.
Okay.
Right.
So they thought. So when they went into their studio, to their building, you see the stuff with Donkey Kong and Star Fox Adventures, and Microsoft was thinking that's what they were getting, and that's not what they were getting.
So that's funny to me.
For planning, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I just think it's one of those situations where you're like, okay, because I thought we all heard that rumor that they tried to buy Nintendo back in '99, and then it was like, oh, that wasn't true, and then you come to find out y'all bought Rare right after that.
Yeah.
Y'all bought Rare like what 2-3 years later? Come on, man, that was true. Y'all got laughed out of Tokyo.
Yeah.
That's what that was. So you were like, okay, then fine, we'll just buy them, and then the Stamper Brothers do that interview in 2007 and like, yeah, we should have never took the money because they didn't do nothing with them. Like they pretty much put out a couple games, and a lot of the team left, and
they went Connect heavy.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't letting them work on nothing.
They let them touch nothing.
Yeah, so I that's what I'm saying. Like when people say, "Oh, it's rareware," like, yeah, that ain't the same rareware that we came up with. That is not the same rareware. So. Yeah. As a matter of fact, most of them went to Free Radical, and that's why you got Time Splitters. And I don't know who's doing that now because the last thing I remember about Time Splitters was they were trying to do a Kickstarter to get Time Splitters 4 off the ground, and that fell through. So that was like 2014 or 15, I think, and because they did that whole little thing with the monkey with the banana,
right?
Which I thought was actually kind of weird. I thought that was kind of weird, but whatever. It is what it is.
You don't know what to do with a franchise.
Yeah.
That would be cool if they add the N64 version of Resident Evil 2, because I actually like that version.
I feel like that's gonna be a Capcom problem.
Yeah, that's part of the Capcom situation, because it can't run with because the RE engine can't run on N64.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Switch can't run Resident Evil 2.
Right. Not possible.
Even if it's just the N64 version, it can't run it. According to Capcom and Jim Ryan.
Boy, I tell you, you gotta love the media, man. Honestly, I'm like, where would we be in gaming if gaming and media didn't exist? Where would we be?
We'll
A
probably
lot
be in a
better
way
off.
better spot. We'll probably be in a way better spot.
We might be on generation 11 or 12
Yeah, and
with actual good content.
People would actually be having fun instead of doing the arguing
Yeah,
situation.
you might have Donkey Kong.
No.
By Rare.
By Rare, yeah.
If only I was so lucky.
And Sega would still been third party because I don't know why they kept making them consoles.
Right. They
Now
might
you're gonna
still
make me
be
point fingers at people about stuff. So now I have to blame Bandai Namco for the reason why I don't have Donkey Kong because they dropped the ball on Metroid and Retro had to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, yeah.
I mean,
that's
basically how it works.
Yeah, pretty much.
Same reason why we don't have Soul Calibur. You know, it's just the thing. You know.
Yeah, because Soul Calibur 2 outsold everybody, and Sony got pissed off about that. How dare you put Hihachi on ours and not give us nobody cool like Link? Because you don't have Link.
You ain't got nobody. Would you want a Cloud? Did you want Cloud? We don't have. We can't do that.
Yeah, you got to talk to school. You got. No, you didn't. So it's not yours.
It's not yours.
All right, so we got a PlayStation exclusive, and I want to talk to you guys about this because I thought this was like exclusive. Apparently, it wasn't, and that's Pathless coming to the Switch next week. We also got another exclusive Trek to Yomi coming to Switch next week.
Hmm.
So I went and looked at Pathless, and apparently Pathless came out on iOS and Mac in 2020. I did not know that. So,
the game where you're running and sliding and shooting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember that game.
Remember that game was supposed to be for PS5, right? In 2021.
Yeah, okay.
It actually came out a year before in 2020. I didn't know that.
Right.
So apparently it's coming to it's coming to Xbox and Switch next week.
Yeah, February 2nd. Looking at it now.
Where did I see this at? I thought it was always a Switch.
No,
I thought too. I always thought because I remember seeing it and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna pick this up eventually."
Yeah.
But the thing is, I never picked it up. But even when you look at the game, to me, when people were explaining it, they said it runs good and the controls work well. But I always thought about this as motion control. Like it doesn't make sense not to use motion control with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was one of the games they were touting for the PS5 with PS4 and small cap.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I was thinking the same way, Jack. I'm like, man, when I saw this, I was like, yo, whoever came up with this idea was on point, you know?
Yeah, we come find out it was from Annapurna Interactive, who's done a bunch of stuff for Switch. So I'm like,
right.
But that's why I thought it was an exclusive game. So then we got Trek to Yomi. Now Trek to Yomi was done by Devolver Digital. I played that via Game Pass last year. It's a fun game. If you're into those samurai movies from Akira Kurosawa, those 1950 to 1969 era movies that he did, like Seven Samurai, Ronin, and I forgot the other one that he did was actually pretty cool. Mm-hmm. It's in that style, that black and white widescreen style. I will say this though, Trek to Yomi is one of those games where you have to. It's timing based, so it kind of reminds me of that old school PlayStation 1 game, Bushido Blade, where if you miss, you're screwed. Or if you don't block in time, you're screwed. Or if you don't have fast reflexes, you're screwed. So if you're not used to stuff like that, it's probably going to take you a minute to get used to it. But it is an actual fun game. And Trek to Yomi has a pretty good story. I actually kind of like the story of it a little bit. But I just thought it was interesting because of and both of these like Pathless, I didn't even know was coming until I was messing around in the eShop last week and I saw it there. I didn't know Trek to Yomi until they put that up on Twitter.
I forgot all about Pathless. I thought Trek to Yomi was always coming.
Yeah.
At least I thought. But Pathless, I thought it was already on the Switch. I'm gonna be honest with you. I always thought it was.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was too. And yeah,
so you stupid. Like it seems to be the case at this point. Every PS5 game seems to be a timed exclusive. I don't. Yeah. They do a good job.
We want everything first. It's ours. It's ours. Gimme.
Yeah.
If it's a game, it's gonna be synonymous with PS5.
It's so weird because the crazy part about it is the games that they make exclusive, timed exclusive, most of them don't get picked up anyway.
Yeah, you know what I just found out? Forspoken is a timed exclusive.
Yes, it
I
is.
thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was an exclusive
For real?
exclusive.
That's
Yeah,
timed
it's a
exclusive.
timed. Next year, it will be available for Xbox.
Xbox, yep.
Then what's the point of even?
And and it's so crazy because they pimped it out so hard, like it
Like
was.
it's a PS5 exclusive.
Like it's a
Here's
PS5
the clear
exclusive.
indicator though. It's coming. It was on PC and PS5 at the same time.
Mhm.
That's the clear indicator.
Mm.
Because if it is, let's say it's PS5 exclusive, then maybe PC 2
Down
3
the
years
line.
behind,
Yeah.
but it's the same day for sure. It's never exclusive.
See, I never realized that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I didn't realize that either. But yeah, that's the one because I was looking to try to see if the sales was the issue. I don't think it was the sales. I can't find the sales on it, but I just found out that to be very interesting. Now, Pathless, I don't know how I feel about that one. I got other stuff to play, so I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, Dark Void, Final Fantasy 16. Here's what I think is going to happen with Final Fantasy 16. I think it's going to be about them sales. If those sales are good, I think it's going to stay exclusive. If them sales don't hit, Xbox will have it. They'll do a trailer by winter for Xbox.
It'll be on
PC
Switch too.
already, right? Because it's going to be on PC and PS5, right?
Yeah.
They're not day and date though. If it is, because
No.
PC. Because I know some people were complaining about it because they were like they wanted to get it for their Steam Deck or something, and it wasn't up there. It was just the only thing they had on there was PS5. Last time I looked, anyway.
Yeah, Brand Smith said it was timed exclusive too.
Okay.
Yeah, I told you a lot of this stuff that they showed up with was like, oh, timed exclusive, and which makes sense because I remember when these systems were gearing up to come out, that was one of the big things that everybody was talking about. Like, hey, while Microsoft is buying all these studios, Sony's hard at work at buying these behind the scene time exclusives for certain games that you may or may not love. So just be on the lookout for it, which has me sort of kind of thinking a lot of what's getting ready to come is going to be time exclusive with them.
So,
Like that exclusive money might be a little dead.
Exodia said if it's a third-party game, it's a time exclusive. If it's a first-party game, it's cross-platform with PS4. I think that game. What was that game that we were hyping over? The last Sony event with the samurai and.
Not Wulong. Was it Wulong?
No. Oh man. I can see it. I just can't see the name. But anyway, that game, I got a feeling that one's going to be... It was Ninja? Was it Ninja who was doing it?
Team Ninja?
Yeah. I feel like...
Team Ninja's doing Wulong.
Yeah, Team Ninja's doing Wulong, so I don't think
maybe it wasn't Ninja. Man, I cannot remember. But I have a feeling that one's going to be a timed exclusive too. Because I feel like we were... It was the same one they were showing off Ragnarok again. And I feel like that was one of the last games that they showed off for it.
Yeah, I'm blanking.
I'm blanking on that.
I'll have it for you. Just keep going. It'll come.
Because I know there's another one that I'm assuming is going to be a timed exclusive, even though I think they keep saying it's exclusive, and that's Stellar Blade.
Stellar Blade. I really do feel like that's going to be a timed exclusive. I just do.
Is that the quote unquote Bayonetta like?
Yeah, the caked up young lady.
The one that was supposed to end Bayonetta's career.
Right.
Because clearly the horrible Switch with this outdated graphics capabilities cannot handle Bayonetta, so it should have went to the PS5.
Right.
I did that one right? I said that one right?
You got it.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, they keep saying that it's exclusive, but we're gonna see. Themselves will tell a lot.
Yeah, it will. It sure enough will. And that's another thing I like with the whole Final Fantasy 16. I've been so burnt out by I was burnt out by 15 that I'm not even really looking forward to 16. I really ain't.
I'm kind of looking forward to it because I wasn't looking forward to 15 after they played and pushed it around a little bit.
Yeah.
But 16, the fight style is very reminiscent of Devil May Cry and everything else that we played. So I'm curious as to how Square does that, because Square ain't been on they rock.
I mean,
this
if
past
it's not
couple
Team
games.
Asano, if it's not Team Asano for Square, I don't really want to see it right now.
Ishin, that's what it was called.
Hold on, is that the No, I'm thinking of the Yakuza
That
type.
is.
You
That's what it
think
Oh, that
is.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yakuza
Oh,
like a okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
and
That
that
was
for
definitely.
everything.
Is it? They showed it off in the last state of play, so maybe that's why.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's for all.
That might be for everything because the other ones are for everything.
Yeah, Ishin like a dragon. Yeah, that's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
When they go back to yeah. So yeah, which actually makes me upset. Which kind of makes me a little bit more upset now with Sony and all that crying they doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we saw the latest, as in Microsoft wants them to present certain things, which I'm pretty sure they're not willing to do or don't want to do, but they kind of have to. But yes,
Well,
I mean, we all know Sony does this, and then, like
yeah.
I said, it was something that was spoken on very early on. They were going to do these whole paid time exclusives, and the argument is, well, it's not forever.
Well, the problem here's the problem with Sony as I see it. You can't go around telling companies not to put games on certain systems and then come around and try to get mad when a company goes and gets bought by another company. Because here's the thing: if Microsoft don't buy Activision, Amazon will,
Somebody will.
Google will. They're trying to get bought because that's the only way to get Kodak out.
Yeah.
So if Microsoft don't do it, you better hope to God Amazon don't.
I think where it works for them with
Google.
Amazon don't have anywhere to put it, so Amazon will be more inclined to put it on multiple consoles.
Yeah, well, the thing with Amazon too is like Amazon does have their own game thing too, though, so they can easily say we'll have exclusive this, and this, and y'all can't get that either. Or my personal favorite,
money there.
or my personal favorite, let Google get it.
Oh yeah, let Google get it and watch it disappear.
Right.
Google's the next Harry Houdini, bro.
Yeah.
Google make anything disappear in this.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I understand, but at the same time, like you throwing stones and trying to hide your hand in your.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Your house ain't nothing but glass. It ain't even plexi. It's straight up
it's
glass.
not fair. But then the thing is, let's say, for example, it's a timed exclusive, which they usually put years on it. It's not months.
Yeah.
They usually put years on it. If let's say with Final Fantasy VII Remake, that game comes to Xbox, let's say next year, most people have forgotten about that game.
Yeah.
So even though you don't have it forever, you've gotten it through its hype, and then nobody's looking forward to it after that. Because I can only imagine most companies are not going to recycle back around and do advertisement again for another console.
No, that costs too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to do that during the Super Bowl? Them ads costing like what is it, like 4-5 million per 15 seconds? Come on, man, they ain't finna do that.
That's the key thing, because then Microsoft has to do it themselves.
Yeah.
And then that means it's going to cost them money, and then if it don't sell, then it's a dud. To me, there is no win-win in that situation. So whether Microsoft buys a whole company outright versus a timed exclusive, either way, you're killing the hype for the other console anyway.
Facts.
So, Andre said times exclusives are a waste of money. I was just kind of thinking, how much money do you think that these companies put down? Well, I won't say these companies. It's usually Sony. How much money do you think that they put down to a certain company to be like, okay, we want this just for our system for a whole year? And it makes me really wonder, because that, unless you're paying what you think it will sell on Xbox, and heaven forbid the Switch come around,
right?
They can't run on Switch.
Well, true. But if you're putting down that money, would you be putting down the same amount of what you predict that it would possibly make on that other system? Because anything outside of that would be like, that company is not really making the sales that they potentially could. Because
the way I'm looking at it is, to use the example for Final Fantasy, right? Final Fantasy prior to 7 was more synonymous with Super Nintendo or Nintendo, and then it became a very PlayStation exclusive type thing. I'm not worried about Xbox in that reign. I'm not worried about them with RPGs at all. Like I mean, Xbox people, I love Xbox, but y'all don't play RPGs. So when it comes down to Final Fantasy, I'm not paying for a timed exclusive when I'm kind of like the big dog in the gaming space, and Final Fantasy is synonymous with my platform. I don't understand the money put out for that.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I mean, I think that amount is going to vary by franchise. I don't even think they're going to look at it as into what it could potentially sell on that particular console, because if that was the case, they wouldn't be paying a lot. When it comes down to Xbox,
Right.
when it comes down to the name of it, I'm pretty sure, much in the same vein, I think, who was it that asked the question? There was somebody on Twitter that asked the question of how much money do we think Sony spent to do the time exclusivity with Forspoken? And I was like, honestly, I don't even think it was just a Forspoken thing. I think it came partnered with maybe another game or so,
like Final Fantasy 16.
Right. So I think it came partnered. I don't think they ever go in there and say, hey, we want this one game. They have to say, okay, well, what do you have on the horizon? And if we like this, you got to get these other two, because it benefits the developer, because that's money up front. But when it comes down to the manufacturer, I don't know how this benefits them at all.
I don't think it does.
No,
to be honest, but they're never gonna let the normal average person see that, because that's like those sales numbers you're not gonna see.
No, you're not.
You're not gonna see. They're not gonna be made. They're not gonna be made public. So
no.
Trinell said he was saying time exclusive for Monster Hunter Rise. Disappointed that Nintendo exclusive because Nintendo Quest. I'm kind of curious. I'm actually kind of curious if Nintendo actually, because here's the thing. Monster Hunter Rise is, besides Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter has kind of been synonymous with Nintendo anyway. And it almost,
Nintendo and Sony.
Yeah.
Nintendo and Sony, yeah.
And it almost makes me wonder, did they actually, with Rise, did they actually do a time to, because I'm not saying that it's not possible that Nintendo would do that. I just don't see the Nintendo right now being like, hey, we want this as a timed exclusive for us. I feel like it was more so like,
let's see if it can run.
Yeah, like, hey, can we get this in here? Like, can we got this game. We got this next Monster Hunter here for y'all.
Right.
And we know that's where it's going to sell.
Right.
And then, like, it was like, okay, so we have the base here. We can just,
port it after that.
Port it up from that point.
I remember Shadow Fox always saying that that's how they should do it. And the thing with Monster Hunter is, well, with Rise anyway, World that came out, and I think a lot of people, they got World, but then I think the sales either fell off during Iceborne or something.
No, Iceborne picked it up. Though.
Picked it up, okay. Yeah. Well, because the thing was like, you remember, I remember seeing this all the time, that the RE engine cannot run on Nintendo platforms. And I'm like, yeah, it can, because the base of it was Unreal Engine 3 and 4, and that's scalable.
Right.
So that's not true. And then all of a sudden, Monster Hunter Rise can now run, and not only are we doing it, it's in the RE engine, the thing that you said couldn't run. So at first I was like, okay, that is day and date with PC, makes sense, because that's what they mostly do with the Monster Hunter games anyway. But I was like, was this just a test run? And I think that's what it was. This is a test to see if it can run, and it's proven that it can run. So that's why I always laugh when I hear Jim Ryan saying stuff can't run. I'm like, bruh, stop saying that. Just stop saying that.
Because if I'm not mistaken, on one of those presentations, we found out shortly after it was coming to the other consoles. So it's not like it popped up out of the clear blue sky. They told us before the game even came out on the Switch.
Yeah.
Because I think they told it during that PC because Capcom does their own little stuff too.
Right.
So they told it during the stuff for the PC.
Yeah. So we knew. I don't think it was like you said, it wasn't a time.
I think it was just a test. I think
it was a test. Because when you think about it, why make this exclusive when they have something like World?
Yeah.
Like I can see if there was nothing over there, but World exists.
That's what I'm saying. Like I kind of don't see Nintendo being like, "Hey, we want this as a." If Nintendo's gonna get an exclusive, it's gonna be an exclusive.
Yeah, so
like,
exclusive for sure.
Because ain't Stories Well, stories ain't really. Yeah, it is.
No,
exclusive.
stories is exclusive.
Yes,
That
it's
ain't that's not a time exclusive. That ain't on nothing else.
Yeah, because I mean, on top of that, it's hella anime. So it's
Yeah.
That's
hella,
true.
it's hella anime. I don't think like outside of a few games, I don't think it's gonna sell like that because people still are finicky when it comes to anime style stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
stories is like, especially when you start getting to some of those ride moves, they go
Yeah,
full on
they
ballistic
really
anime.
anime.
Yeah, they bring anime and nuclear bomb drops
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
on areas. So I mean, it's over the topness of it, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, but wow, we really went over.
Because it was all fun. We had something
Yeah,
to talk about today.
yeah, yeah, and hope everybody enjoyed the podcast. We had fun tonight. If you haven't had a chance to go out and check out that developer direct, that Xbox presentation, man. Let us know what you guys think about it. Like I said, I thought it was okay. I
Mhm.
wouldn't mind them doing something like that more often. Just
They
keeping
need
it,
to do something
yeah,
like that more often, to be honest.
just
With you.
keep it nice and tight. Don't do
Yeah.
nothing crazy. Putting something out that's going to be 3 years down the road.
Yep.
Don't do that. Just
Yep.
talk about
Yep.
your
Yep.
stuff
Yep.
for this year. You know, just do that. But yeah, let us know what you guys thought. If you've played Forspoken, hey, leave us a comment. Let us know if you played GoldenEye. Let us know what you think about it. Leave a comment. Jack, anything you want to pimp out?
As always, support the channel, subscribe, like, share. Just let everybody know that we're here. Because we'll be here every Sunday unless it's a holiday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, too, if you haven't tried it out, I would say go and try out Horizon, which I didn't think I was gonna like the game, but I mean I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not paying attention to the story at all. I'm just shooting right through it. I'm having more fun just going out there, doing some tricks here and there. I mean, I will say that if they do another one, they need to figure out how to get Aloy not to do these weird movements to try to jump on platforms. And if it's not recognized, if she falls off and slips on things, it looks real janky sometimes because you can tell that it's a predestined location that she has to land on
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
that she has to reach for, opposed to, I hate to say it, Breath of the Wild, you can kind of grab on whatever.
Mhm.
But definitely check that out. And then also looking at February for their PlayStation Plus Essential, so you don't need the extra and the premium. The two games I would say check out that I really liked was Mafia Definitive Edition and then Ali Ali World. Like Ali Ali World is amazing. Like that game is a great game, and as you go further into the game, the tricks get more complex. The things that you have to collect or the things that you have to do within those certain levels, like you'll be hard pressed to get a lot of that stuff on the first go around. But definitely looking at some of the tricks and things you pull off and jumping into the secret areas here and there, like Ali Ali World is an amazing game. If you don't just buy it outright, at least it's coming up on PlayStation Plus this February.
Right.
But that's it.
Got a question. I made this I made this comment when they first showed off Horizon. Um, so the hook shot, the hook shot piece, does it still do that weird pause anime to shoot it out before you? That's so weird to me.
And then
I
the
can't wrap my
way,
head around it.
like when it does hook, depending on where you're coming from, sometimes like she'll struggle to come up and it goes real slow. Yeah, it's real weird. I mean, I see what they were trying to do, but honestly, yeah, they could have did without for real. They really could. It's too much.
My favorite weapon from a Zelda game that wasn't in Breath of the Wild, the damn hook shot. Sandstorm, anything you want to pimp out?
Yeah, so if you want to see more gameplay of Forspoken, I've done it 3 times now. Also, if you want me to play more Forspoken, go over to the channel and say so, because I'll definitely keep playing more of it up until this
Get
next
dropped.
week. Yeah, because it's about to get dropped. It's about to. I'm sorry, you knew what was gonna happen. It's not like I didn't tell
Getting
you.
dropped.
It's not like I didn't tell you. Saturday's coming around, and we're probably gonna. I'll probably have all you guys on here. As a matter of fact, for our last discussion of Harry Potter, because it's a bigger game to us.
And I think I'll probably do that with all the other games, Zelda, Starfield, even whether you like it or not. But our last discussion on Saturday on the Stormcast, which is at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come on over as we discuss that and all our fandom and all that other stuff. And also, if you missed it last week, I had my brother on there, which was a great time. Appreciate that he could take some time out from his family to be able to do that with us. And Vito hosted. And then that following Tuesday, you know what time it is, boy. It's the Claw. It's the Claw because we got the deluxe version. So we're gonna pick it up early, February 6th, right? February 6th. So make sure you guys show up for that. I'll be in full uniform, and we gonna play My Life Has Changed as a Wizard. So yeah, make sure you show up for that. But outside of that, make sure that you subscribe to all of our team and everything. We really appreciate you guys coming through and supporting us the way you have been, especially through this last year and through COVID too. We really thank you so much.
Yep, that we do. So, did put some, like I said before, I put some gameplay vids up for Monster Hunter Stories 2, as well as GoldenEye, and Tatsunoko vs. Capcom for I Got Mine. So I got a request for Castlevania Judgment. So I'm going to be playing that one next Thursday. So, this coming Thursday, I'll be booting up Castlevania Judgment for I Got Mine. Have no idea what I'm gonna be playing Friday, but we'll get to that later. Might do another poll, so check the community tab probably tomorrow, as I might do a poll to see what to play on Friday night. So just keep an eye out on the community tab on the YouTube channel. So other than that, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for participating via comment and chat. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, all the other good stuff. If you're watching us on Twitch, don't forget to drop a follow. And we'll see you guys next Sunday. Peace out, peoples.
Peace.
And always remember, seriously, we were just joking, man. Seriously. We were just joking. We were just joking.